Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be doing chapter 7, lesson 1. This lesson is about ratios and proportions. So the keywords that you should know and what their meanings are is ratio and proportion. Ratio means comparison of two quantities by division, and proportion means the equation that states two ratios are equal. So with that being said, we are just going to start off with some very basic, very simple equations. And I'm going to walk you through how to do them. So for this one, 4 over 5 equals x over 30. So the first thing you should look at is the numbers and if they relate. In this case, they do because 5 times 6 goes and it makes 30. And now we have to figure out what x is. So for this equation, you would first have to cross multiply. So you would do 4 times 30 and 5 times x. So 4 times 30 equals 120. And 5 times x equals 5x. So your equation would now be, alrighty, so now 120 equals 5x. You would have to isolate the variable. So you would now divide 120 by 5 and you would get x equals 24. And that is your x, which would be here. So 4 over 5 is equal to 24 over 30. For this next question, it does not matter where the x is. So as you can see in each one of these problems, the x is in different places and it does not matter as long as you cross multiply and you make everything work. So for this equation, 12 over x equals 30 over 75. You would cross multiply just like we did here. So 12 times 75 and 30 times x. So 12 times 75 equals 900. And 30 times x equals 30x. So now you would get 900 equals 30x. Just like we did here, we have to isolate this variable, this one right here. So we divide 30 on both sides and we get x equals 30. So your answer right here would be 30. And for this last question, we are doing the same exact thing. We cross multiply each number and we go along with that. So for this one, it's 6 times 4 equals 24 and 12 times x equals 12x. So here 24 is equal to 12x. We isolate this variable again, divided by 12, divide by 12, x equals 2. So as you can see, this is just basic problems, basic solutions on just simple problems. Now we are going to go into a little harder problem, and that is this equation right here, this proportion. We are going to solve it and figure it out together. So here it says a class has 18 girls and 30 boys. So that ratio would be 18 over 30. We can find out how many girls there are and boys with this ratio right here. So 18 over 30, the first thing you have to do is find the greatest common factor. And the greatest common factor for these numbers, 18 and 30, would be 6. 6 is their number. So if you go through each and every one of them. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 18, and then this one, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 15, and 30. So as you can see, here are the greatest common factors. Here they are, 6 and 6. So those are the numbers that we are going to be using. So what we do now is 18 over 30. And the greatest common factor is 6. So we divide 18 by 6 and we get 3. And then we divide it by 30 divided by 6 equals 5. So for every girl, every 3 girls, there will be 5 boys. So as you can see, we use the greatest common factor and we got 3 over 5 as our new ratio, since it is all the way simplified. It is simplified all the way. A huge mistake many students make. So we'll take this ratio again, 18 over 30, and they won't take the greatest common factor. What they would do, let's say they take the number, 2 instead of 6. So 2, so they divide 18 by 2 and 30 by 2. That leaves you to 9 over 15. 9 and 15 can be simplified even more. Both numbers, the number 3 can go into them. That is their greatest common factor. You divide by 3 now, and you get 3 over 5. It is the same equation, but picking out the greatest common factor from the very beginning, you can avoid doing 2 different equations. As you can see, we had to go through 2 different numbers to get to our correct answer. If you pick the greatest common factor from the first try, you won't have to do extra work and it will be more convenient. So now we'll go into the second problem. We have here a word problem, not too hard, very simple. Emily can read 4 romance novels in 10 hours. Assuming all the books are the same length, how long would it take her to read 50 romance novels? So as of right now, we know she can read 4 romance novels in just 10 hours. They want us to figure out how many hours would it take her to read 50. So when writing out this equation, we put romance novels over the hours, and then writing it out, you can put 50 over here, and we'll do X is hours. So when you do that, now we have to cross multiply just like we did for the other equation. So we do 50 times 10 and 4 times X. So 50 times 10 equals 500, and 4 times X equals 4X. So your new problem would be 500 equals 4X. We also have to isolate the variable and we divide by 4. Once you divide by 4, your new answer would be X equals 125. So that means we found this answer right here. Alrighty, so back to what I was saying. 125 hours is how long it would take her to finish 50 romance novels. For the next question, next problem, would be this one. Daniel gets paid $10 an hour. If he works for 22 hours, he will make $220. How much money would he make if he worked for 30 hours? So for here, so the way you would write this equation would be 22 over 220 is equal to 30x. So we took this information, 22 hours, 220, and they want to know how much money he would make in 30 hours. So now we cross multiply, and we get 22 times x equals 22x, and 30 times 22 equals 6,600. So now we have 6,600 equal to 22x. So we have to isolate this variable. So we divide by 22 and 22, and we get 300 is equal to x, which means Daniel will make $300 if he worked 30 hours. A common mistake many students make is, let's say we use this equation. What they'll do is they will just take 22 over 222 equal to 30 over x. They'll cross multiply just the 222 and the 30, and they'll get 6,600. And then they'll just take the 22 instead of cross multiplying it, which leaves the x by itself. And they'll just divide 22, and they'll just say, oh, we got 300. But the correct way to do this problem is you have to cross multiply each side to get x equals 300. As you can see, this is how you solve ratios and proportions. If you like this video and would love to hear more, please follow, like, share, and comment. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, guys.